And here we are in Atlantis Spaceship, ladies and gentlemen, and at the 12 o'clock position we have our red Zerg player from Team SCV Life, down 2-3 in this best of 9, it is HyuN. And his opponent at the 8 o'clock position, our blue Protoss player from StarTale, 3-time reigning champion of IPL Fight Club, and up 3-2 in this best of 9, it is Squirtle.
Yep, Squirtle could certainly do it. I mean, he is one of the strongest Protoss players in the world right now. Some would actually argue the strongest player, even after Seed 1, the GSL. But we'll see. I mean, this will be crazy. I mean, Fight Club was kind of designed as a event where players would kind of stick around for multiple weeks, and eventually it'd be a big deal when someone finally took out the champion. But we've seen so much turnover. It's been really, really hard to stay on top. And I mean, if you think about it, a best of 9 is a long series. It's hard to win a lot of those in a row.
Yeah, I mean, we had players like Deja has been part of this. Hero's been part of this and won quite a few weeks. So
Marine King.
MC. Even. So, I mean, all these guys have gone down in pretty short order. So it shows you that there is still a lot of volatility that's out there in the scene. So
yep, Marine King was only 2 champions ago, in fact. Coca beat Marine King, and then Squirtle beat Coca, and now we've had Squirtle since then.
And nothing too big of a difference. Looks like HyuN, feeling just a touch safer, decides to go for a 15 pool instead of a 14 pool, so he can get out a little bit extra economy. Yeah, and it looks like his opponent will probably Nexus first. Looks like he's saving up for the next Chrono Boost. Did just go to probes as well. Oh, no, he is actually going to drop down the... Nope. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Forge on 17.
He could always, you know, do something to harass his opponent's third and second as well. I feel like cannoning has been getting a little bit more popular again in StarCraft 2. It was gone for a very, very long time, especially outside of the Western scene. You hardly saw it from Korean players at all, but lately I feel like we've been seeing it a little bit more often, so that could be a motive to get the Forge before the Nexus. We'll see, though.
And HyuN, once again, for about the 3rd or 4th game in a row now, did take his hatchery over at his 3rd, sending out 2 drones at the same time in order to make sure that he wasn't delayed at all.
Yep. And there we go. There is a probe just kind of hanging out, waiting for that drone to come out and try to build the natural expansion. And did he make any Zerglings? Okay, he did make a couple of them.
But they're just running across the map for now, so...
whoops, he missed that probe. That was very, very good by Squirtle, actually, to hide that probe. It's going to let him delay the hatchery a little bit longer. Just kind of being generally annoying, and there's a pylon. Zerglings come back, but the damage has been done, essentially.
And looks like they will finally take out that probe there. Is he going to recover shields?
Got it.
No, he's down. But, yeah, this pylon is going to sit there for quite a while, so this is a very, very delayed hatchery.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be up on like 26 supply. You know, it depends on how much he wants to save up here. Could be making a few more units. He's got plenty of minerals at the moment, but...
Looks like he's going to make an overlord. Not a bad decision there. And then another queen coming up after that. So a 27 supply a hatchery there, 3rd hatchery.
Yeah, it is a bigger map. I mean, it's a larger map. You have more space to work with, so later hatchery isn't the end of the world. But it does make you a little bit more vulnerable. I mean, everything we're talking about here at this point has a relatively small impact in the game overall. But it is those small things that do end up meaning the difference between victory and defeat.
That's true. So we'll see now what HyuN decides to go down. We've not seen Infestors really at a reasonable time during this entire set.
We haven't seen a single Infestor yet from HyuN.
And it's going to be Stargate play once again from Squirtle.
All right. Well, that's kind of interesting. It's a map that we do see Stargate play on from time to time. I'm curious to see if he's going to go the Void Ray route or the Phoenixes. Phoenixes would make more logical sense as they can cover a lot of space very quickly. And
hopefully it's the Genius 2 Stargate in a carrier route. So
you know, I mean, Squirtle did beat Coca with carriers on one map last time that he had a... Well, it wasn't last time he had a ZVP because that was against Vortex, but last time they played, or last time he played a... Oh, never mind. It was just last something.
Probe getting chased down again, and Squirtle doesn't confirm the presence of the space, which is what he was trying to do. Of course, it is still there. HyuN going after double gas now at his main, by the way, I might add.
Yeah, what's his drone count? Okay, yeah, 39. His drones are a little bit low for double gas. That's a little bit surprising here. I mean, he is up to about 40 now. I guess the gas isn't really that much earlier, but something to kind of take note of.
We've mentioned that this is a bigger map as well, so certainly could be playing for that higher tech a little bit quicker as well. We've seen only like a handful of defensive roaches. That's what I was trying to say in English. And he is actually going for layer tech first.
All right, no third or fourth gas or anything like that. Still just droning, getting his mineral count up as high as he possibly can. This is another map that, just like Metropolis and Entombed Valley, we see Protoss players taking a third on fairly often. So we're going to have to kind of look for Squirtle to do something like that. And HyuN now is taking his third and fourth gases. And there's Zergling speed fairly quickly, too.
And it looks like Squirtle goes right past that Overlord, so we should be able to pick up on this. But the evolution chamber's not quite finished because he did decide to prioritize the layer tech.
Yeah, Roach Warren came up a little bit first, too. Does he have a decent amount of queens? He's got 2 at his main, and that's not going to be enough, man. I mean, he needs to get those spores down. This queen could be in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, it looks like this. He is going to pick up one queen. He will be able to pick it off, and he's going to try and get the second one as well. But a third queen does run up and should be able to pick off this Phoenix with pretty good control.
Oh, that Phoenix has to run, and will he get a second queen? It looks like he might. There's a Spore Crawler done, though.
That's right, and these Phoenixes have taken quite a bit of damage, but it looks like he is going to be able to nab at least another queen here, so 2 queens are dead.
Yep, and a third queen getting picked up here. The Spore Crawler going after that one Phoenix, so looks like he's going to be able to kill the queen and run away. Maybe he... Oh, he doesn't get the Phoenix away in time, but he just killed 3 queens. That's great. And we've got a Spire on the way now as well from HyuN really fast. Now the question is, did Squirtle see the Spire start? I believe it started at the natural expansion,
yeah, I would imagine. Yeah, there it is.
Okay, so he doesn't know that it's there. So that's a brave move, going for Spire after seeing Phoenixes out there. So we'll see if he decides to do mutas or not. But if HyuN kind of commits to it, no, it's actually going to be going into quicker lair tech, because there's the infestation pit right now as well. I think that's a good decision. HyuN may have been maybe thinking about mutas, but yeah, with 5 Phoenixes already out in the field, it's not a direction you want to go. Mutas don't do very well against Phoenixes at all.
And Broodlord Infester has been proven to be so strong time and time again, so not a bad decision to be going for that pretty quickly. Back on Squirtle's side of things, though, as we can see, he is going after Robotics Bay himself, so trying to do the same transition that he did a couple of games ago, where he decided to drop in some Colossi a little bit after his initial Phoenix harassment.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not even so much that Protoss players are trying to trick Zergs into going for Hydralisks or something like that anymore. They just know that, what does that Spore Crawler do?
I really am not sure what's going on there. I really want to get past. I really want to get past.
Oh, there we go.
Thank God.
Oh, Queen's a jerk, man. He was clearly trying to get through.
I could have helped that.
Guess so. Wow.
All right. Well, Squirtle now, pretty fair amount of forces himself. HyuN with all these Zerglings on hold position.
HyuN? Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
He's asleep for a moment. He's awake again now.
Yep, that's true.
Map control completely given back over to Squirtle. That's you know, one of the nice things about having Zergling speed done a little bit quicker for HyuN is that because he's going to lose all of his overlords out on the map, he still wants to have Zerglings looking for thirds, looking for pylons and things like that. And those are going to be, of course, a little bit more difficult for Squirtle to clean up with all those Phoenixes.
Squirtle taking a third base now. He does have, let's see, that's 6 gates, and that's all. 6-gate robotics facility with Robotics Bay. So Colossi production is, of course, well underway, along with Thermal Lance as well. HyuN, though, has his Hive tech coming up. He's got a fair number of Infestors coming out, so Broodlord Infestor going to be a very real possibility here very soon. Yeah,
this is the first game that he's gone for Hive tech, or first game that he's really rushed for Hive tech like a Zerg often does in ZVP. So this is interesting. It's a big map to do it. But the Colossi, you know, if he has a good amount of Corruptors and Broodlords out, are not really going to make an impact in a big fight. HyuN also taking that 4th base. He always tries to take a 4th base in nearly every ZVP, no matter what he's doing here. And if Squirtle can't punish that, he's going to be in a pretty great spot. Or HyuN is, rather. I like that Spore Crawler up in the front, too, to, you know, watch for Observers, watch for more Phoenixes.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of generally be annoying. And there it is. Wow, he gets an Observer with it immediately.
Just paid for it, so
yeah.
Well done. Yeah, Hive Tech is about 25 seconds away from finishing now. Corruptors being produced. Corruptors, of course, going to serve utility to take out the Phoenixes and the Colossi, but, of course, we'll see that Greater Spire started here just a bit whenever that Hive is done.
All right. Corruptors getting made a little bit early. But that's just because they're going to be pretty good at chasing away the Phoenixes and, of course, handling the Colossi as well. And we do already have +1 air attacks done for those Corruptors, too. So that's going to help against the Colossi. Everything that HyuN's doing right now is gearing for defending and getting ready for that Broodlord transition. If he attacks now, I think that would actually be a bad decision. So I hope he's planning on just kind of sitting on creep and just defending his 4th base.
He can play that style that we've seen so often lately, too. Just sit back, defend, eventually just frustrate a Protoss opponent into kind of killing themselves.
Fungal on some of those Stalkers. And HyuN getting pushed into maybe an unfavorable attack here. He gets a fungal on those Phoenixes. One goes down, another almost taken out by that Spore Crawler. But yeah, Squirtle just has way too much stuff here. HyuN should not have fought this. He should have ran away.
And looks like one Colossus does fall, but two more are making their way in now. Not too many forces left on the ground for Squirtle at the moment. He is starting to reinforce pretty heavily, though. A couple of Immortals, couple of Colossi, and we'll see if HyuN can get there. Oh, Overlord.
So Overlord's like, please, no.
This is inappropriate.
And more forces coming in right now for HyuN. He might be able to focus down those Colossi, but does he have enough to handle everything else? Looks like he might be able to barely hold this off this time, but he's taken a lot of losses.
Yeah.
And wow, he's going to trade. It's going to end up being a pretty one-for-one trade between his units and Squirtle's.
You know, though, Squirtle is Squirtle's pretty low in terms of overall army right now. He's still sitting on 62 workers, but he's only got 5 Stalkers and 1 Zealot on the field. That is it.
That is a problem. I mean, his army is small, but then again, if you look at HyuN, he doesn't have any Infestors right now. He doesn't really have any Broodlords. He had to remake a lot of what he had, and that's going to prevent him from getting that Greater Spires quickly. You saw he just started it right now. It's going to slow everything down in a big way. So HyuN's going to be able to take this very secure third with that rich gas. And with that, he's going to be able to get plenty of upgrades, get, you know, all the gas-intensive stuff that he really wants to, unless he messes up with his drones. I believe it's 4 to saturate that completely, not 5.
I think he was sending 4 because it's a not normal amount you send to a refiner. So he's probably like, oh, I got to send 4 over there, not knowing that there was already 1 on it. So
okay.
It was probably a conscious decision and just a little bit of a mistake. So Fleet Beacon coming up now. Of course, the Stargate was already finished. It was started really early in this game, so motherships will certainly be a thing that HyuN will have to deal with very soon.
Yeah, I mean, he traded enough with his opponent that he's delaying that late game attack too, so that's going to be pretty good. But there are 6 Broodlords already on the way for HyuN. Again, you know, it's just that 4th base that he's been able to take and hold that I just don't see a lot of Zerg players doing lately in ZVP. That's really been helping him out in a lot of these games. And the question is, you know, will he have enough of an army to stop Squirtle in his tracks?
Well, Squirtle still has a long way to go to recover fully back into this game as well. As we can see, a few Spine Crawlers being added to the front, that will certainly need some more here in just a bit. But Squirtle, you know, he's really investing in his infrastructure. I mean, the past couple of minutes in game that we've been talking, he's put up a Nexus, he's put up a few more probes, but that's about it.
He's got 80 probes right now. That's the most probes I've seen a Protoss player make in a very, very long time. But HyuN, I've got a feeling that he's going to be getting aggressive here in the next few minutes. He's got to wait a little bit after he maxes out until he has a good amount of money and larva built up to remax once he does attack too. But once that happens, he's going to be able to put some pressure on Squirtle here. He's already starting to move across the map.
Yeah, I mean, and with this defensive position up here at the front, it's not too bad for HyuN, because he can sit there and just kind of siege it up with Broodlords and force the point of engagement there. And the mothership's not out. The army isn't all that large for Squirtle now. So he certainly does have his economy and infrastructure underway. Oh, and it looks like he's actually running out at the same time with a few forces off to the right.
Yeah, he's going to try to punish that 3rd base that HyuN has at home. In the meantime, HyuN doing tons of damage at this choke point outside of his opponent's 3rd base. And he's pulling a lot of this behind here, too. He's leaving the Broodlords a little bit undefended, but that's okay because most of the Stalkers for his opponent are at his 3rd base here. So for the moment, these Broodlords are safe. But this is a bit risky. This is kind of a crazy situation here.
Yeah, Squirtle is taking a ton of damage, but he's inflicting a pretty good bit of it back on his opponent as well. HyuN trying to take another base up in the 11 o'clock position. So, and a little bit of lag there for a second, but Zergling starting to filter on through.
Oh, nice fungal. He gets a lot of those Stalkers. He does lose the base, but he cleans up a lot of this army here. The Broodlord's coming into the natural expansion, and there's going to be a lot of Stalkers warped in here. So he needs to move down. Oh, great. He did keep some Infestors and some Roaches down there. GG!
Wow.
Squirtle taken out. Great play from HyuN there, splitting his